Batman issue 12, written by Tom King and art by Mikel Janin. So, I loved this issue. This was a
You push me
phenomenal
over with
issue.
a feather. I'm shocked.
Honestly, barring one piece of art which really bothers me, I also loved it.
You know what, Matt? You being cynical about me loving it, I could be equally cynical about you assuming that you didn't like it.
This is fair. On maybe Thursday, before I'd read it, but I knew Peter had, I asked him, how was Batman? And he goes, it was fantastic. I went, is it going to make Matt angry? And he just goes, yeah, might do.
I don't know, it didn't make me angry. Every page was a two-page splash page, so
And
it made for quick reading.
Yeah, it was
So that was fine.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was
It looked
beautiful.
great. I don't like the angle Tom King's taking on Batman's brain or personality, I guess, on this arc as much as I did. I don't like the whole, like, we'll get to it when we start going through the issue, but I don't know. It feels more close to Dark Knight Returns Batman than what I like in Batman. So
I don't think that's true.
Well, I don't think that is either.
I don't think the
I just-
personality is anything like that at all. I think maybe why you're saying that is because it's been told in a very, Batman's narration's very sort of self-reflective and very analytical of himself, which is maybe what you don't like. But I don't think that necessarily makes it like the same type of attitude or character like Dark Knight.
I almost rather had it been a letter from Alfred about Bruce, about his parents, and seeing him in pain. Instead of this whole, like, it just felt melodramatic as the stuff. Like, I loved what was going on in the issue, which was essentially just one long action sequence with narration.
Yeah, I'll just jump
That
in.
was cool.
I'll just jump in here and say what the issue actually is in terms of plot. It's Batman from the moment of the end of the last issue where Selina seemingly betrays everyone and turns
Heel
to
turn.
Bane. Yeah, heel turn. It's basically Batman working his way to that room, and he climbs up to the top and he dives off. Gorgeous page. He has like the old boy corridor moment where he goes through an army of people. And I love that page at the end of that, by the way, when he's like out of breath and just it takes a moment just to
It is Old Boy. Like, even the breath.
It's exactly Old Boy, yeah. That's what it reminded me of. I could almost hear the Old Boy music in my head as I was reading that page.
Yeah.
And it ends with him getting to the room. And so, in terms of plot, not a lot of progression. It's all beautiful, but what it really is as this is all playing out, we get kind of similar. It's like a counterpart to the first issue of this arc. Well, not the first issue, sorry, the second issue, where it was Catwoman talking about herself, and she was like being analytical, and this was Batman doing the same thing from his point of view. And it was a letter he wrote to Selina just after she'd been sent to Arkham, for
From Blackgate.
from Blackgate for murdering so many people and then causing trouble at Blackgate and all that.
Which I also don't like that as the source of the murder 237, the bombers. Like, all the other stuff that she's done, did that not require her going to Arkham? Like, it just felt like this was her first trip to Arkham.
I don't know. A lot of it was just crimes. So Blackgate, whereas this one was more mentally unstable because it was.
I don't buy that the rest of her normal repertoire is Arkham worthy because she's not psychotic.
Yeah, but I don't think murdering the 237 people, hunting them down, makes her psychotic.
237? You don't think murdering 237 people is psychotic?
No, because it's not Joker's 237 where they're random people. Like, these are 237 terrorists, right? Like, it's the Munich situation, like in Spielberg's Munich. Like, yeah, it's not good, and what have you become? But at the same time, she's not, filling a blimp with Joker gas and crashing it into a crowd of people, So, I don't know. There's certain things.
Maybe there's more to it we just don't know yet.
Well, they say
probably.
Yeah, but they say she went to Blackgate first, so seemingly, her actions there, have convinced them to transfer. I don't think it's a huge important point though, so I'm not too fussed about it.
No, I'm just, it's a weird sticking point, I feel, with King. Like, this is he's making this being the crux of the relationship right now between the two of them.
Well,
You know?
in a way it is, because she's crossed this big line, which is a big thing that Batman talks about in this letter, that he's going to have to take action. He tries not to with her. He tries to like kind of give her a pass or whatever when he can, but this is like a line that because he made this vow and he talks about. And it's funny actually, hearing King talk about this issue and how he used his own like depression at a young age and his like social issues that he had. And I can't remember if he specifically said he tried to commit suicide or if he just thought about it. I can't remember the exact wording. I don't want to say it the wrong way. So, but there was his own experience was used as a sort of a basis for what part of what Batman says in his letter here about when he was a kid and he had the razor blade and he considered committing suicide. And I love all this analytical stuff and all this sort of the psyche of Batman kind of.
It's very personal, isn't it?
It's very personal, and just the way he talks about it starts when he's like, oh, like everyone laughs, and it's kind of funny. The cowl, the batarangs, like all of it's kind of stupid. Like he acknowledges the campiness almost of everything in his life. I was on board. Yeah.
I thought you would be.
Yeah, he likes that. Yeah. But the whole "I am suicide." What does that mean? It's like, well, in a way, he kind of did, because we've spoken about this before. Even at the end of Snyder's run, there was this idea that for Batman to exist, Bruce Wayne has to die in a metaphorical way, not in a literal way, but the idea that he gave up his life when he made that vow, and that was suicide in a sense, just not.
I wonder if that ties back to. I mean, you know how the end of the last arc spoke about how the death of Batman, and it wasn't. It never. I don't think it mentioned Bruce Wayne. I think it spoke about Batman specifically. So I wonder if this is going to be like the reverse, where he kills Batman to become Bruce Wayne again.
Well, that was kind of the end of the Snyder run too. Was the whole right? Where they're getting him back into the right mind state after I forget what it was, the magical chemical that Snyder created.
Die something.
Yeah, Dedelium or whatever. Yeah. So, but I like that as a concept because we get that. He's Batman all the time, except with Alfred. Like Alfred in the cave with the Batman suit on but cowl off. That's like the true Bruce Wayne. But even when he's Bruce Wayne to the public, he's playing a character. So like if we go this angle, like after this, he realizes he doesn't have to be Batman anymore, and it's kind of like what Batman Forever tried to do without the camp.
Yeah, maybe like the idea that he's been setting up all these replacements, all these proteges, all these other teams that he can stop being Batman and try to learn who Bruce Wayne is again.
Right.
It's funny, actually. I remember when we got to the end of that arc, and I remember us having an argument over the wording that Gotham Girl used, and I can't remember which one ended up being right, but like
I think it was Batman because I think this is why I remember it because I'm pretty sure I said it was Bruce Wayne. It might be Bruce Wayne.
I remember you being wrong, and I always enjoy that.
Yeah, that's why I remember it as well because it doesn't happen very often.
It happens all the time. Shut up. But I remember us having a debate because I remember you saying it one way, and then I can't remember which one was first. But then I looked it up and it was different. I don't have the issue on the tablet to check it. But
I think I was suggesting that it would be Bruce Wayne dies sort of thing, and we get more Batman, and that's what it was. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's maybe suggesting that we're going to lose Batman entirely and he'll just be Bruce Wayne. Maybe it is just the idea that he realizes he can also have a life outside of Batman because he has set up all these other people, and that it's okay to be Bruce again. But maybe not 24/7. He can still do his Batman thing, but it's not 24/7 obsessed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what we're building to here. I'm not sure, but I like what he's playing with. I like all this kind of stuff, and it is gorgeous, like we say, and it feels impactful because it is this close relationship with Selina, and because he does have to cross that line because she crossed that line first.
Now,
I really like the.
Go ahead, Connor. I just want to know what Bane's doing with Psycho Pirate. Like, is he having this therapy session the entire time, where like Psycho Pirate's making him feel emotions that aren't breaking things? Like,
when exactly? During this whole trip?
Yeah, like why does he have Psycho Pirate? Like we've never.
All right. Oh, we don't know that yet. Well, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, like, I just like the image of Psycho Pirate just standing there, while Bane sits on his throne of skulls.
I would imagine Bane's using him to manipulate other people, but that would just be my guess.
Yeah. No, I think what I'm getting from Bane here is it's more of a personal, because he hasn't done much physically. Like, yeah, he readjusted Batman's back, but other than that, he's kind of just sat there.
He's taken a step back and let everyone else deal with stuff.
Contemplated, yeah. Which is very unlike Bane in any form that I've read him, from Secret Six to him as the straight up villain. So it's definitely, I want to see where the next issue goes, because I feel like he wants us to think it's going to be a big old fight, and I don't think it's going to be a big old fight.
It seems too easy, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it won't be a fight with him. Maybe a fight with Catwoman. I could see them having.
That seems much more likely, given that we've had the Catwoman issues and now the Bruce issues, and it's kind of that duality. Even this issue is kind of like the personal versus the action. Sort of, it's that intercut thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it having the emotional fight between them, and I wonder if the reason why Selena did even betray them is because of Psychopirate. Is he affecting her?
Yeah.
Because it's not out of the realm of possibility, and I wonder if the fight between them will get extremely heated because Psychopirate's at the sidelines, affecting both of them.
Right.
So, I think that's something to play with, and maybe that's Bane's plan. Bane's plan is just to watch them tear themselves apart.
Well, he's broken him physically. Now maybe he wants to break him emotionally and spiritually.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, everyone forgets that Bane's like super smart too, and that the whole Nightfall was him wearing Batman out mentally before snapping his back.
Yeah.
So
I think anyone who's not read Nightfall, which is obviously the first big part of that, ends with the fight that has him breaking his back. Most of that first part is actually like Bane's actually set free a bunch of villains from Arkham, so that Batman's constantly having to do stuff to wear him down, to drain him physically.
He's a brilliant tactician.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you've only seen the 1997 hit film Batman and Robin, you would be, forgiven for thinking otherwise.
Yeah. Or even Dark Knight Rises, because that's Bane, but not fully. Because Nolan's take on Bane.
He is almost the tactician until it turns out it wasn't him with the plan.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, he's a lot more Bane in that movie than he ever was in.
Well, obviously.
Well, yeah,
that goes without saying.
Yeah. I'm more Bane than Batman and Robin.
There's fair. But that opening scene of that, like Bane at the start with the plane, that's very much Bane as a tactician and a thinker.
Yeah.
I like that. The guy behind.
Do you know? I would almost argue that this arc is taking some inspiration from that movie, because a lot of Bane in the middle of that film is very much this back in the shadows, intimidating figure. I'm getting a lot of those vibes. So, if anything, that's
a good use of Bane, though.
Yeah, I think that's, if you're going to take something from that movie to put in the comics, I feel like that's a good element to take from his character.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that scary big guy in the back who might come in and snap your neck,
or he might just sit there and make you wonder if he's going to do that. That might be even worse.
Maybe even worse.
So,
yeah. Gorgeous book. I know I said it at the start, but I'm going to say it again.
No, yeah, that goes without saying. Action-wise, I think this is Jennings' strongest, because the character stuff in the first issue, when he's rounding up, that was all really good because each character had their own personality done through art. But here it was just straight action, and like Pete said, the old boy inspired scene, and just it looked great. I can't say anything bad.
I can say one thing bad, and I hate to do it, but it stuck out to me so much, and it's still annoying me now just looking at it. It's the very first splash page where he's got the grappling gun and he's swinging up, and his body is just twisted at such a strange angle. It just doesn't look right at all. Like his legs are just completely off with where his hips are, and just looks wrong.
He did readjust his back by slamming it into a title-filled hole. So
this is his new superpower. He can mangle his limbs.
It was so off though that I had to look at it again, because obviously you see Batman a few times throughout, not split up, but you see multiple versions of him moving throughout in motion, and I almost had to look as if it was meant to be half of one and half another, because it cuts right across where the yellow line from the grappling hook is.
Mm-hmm.
that it looks like it's almost another like version of Batman, like the next part of the movement,
Right.
but it just looks wrong instead to me, and it really stuck out and annoyed me. But one issue out of the whole thing, not that bad.
No, not at all.
We really need to start using the word issue to mean problem. Because
We do.
It gets
I noticed
confusing.
I noticed that after I said it, I went,
'Cause-
one issue out of the whole.
Yeah.
No, I can't say issue because this sentence is confusing then.
Yeah. Okay, now that I'm looking at it, I can see what you're saying. It didn't stick out to me. His hips do look a bit weird.
I think it was, if this wasn't the very first splash page, and my attention wasn't so focused on this big, because it's the big figure in the middle, it wouldn't be as much of a problem. But it's because it's that one that it really is. It's like maybe it's the problem with his knee. I'm not sure. There's just something that just doesn't look right.
All right, one panel. One panel has that issue. The rest of it is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. So.
Oh yeah. I'm totally agreeing on all the rest of it.
Oh.
I'm gonna make that one criticism because I don't think I've criticised his art yet since he's come on the book.